Hey friends, it's Jabadoodles or Crow, whichever one you decide to use. It's been a while. I've been pretty busy. It's been 4 months since my last video. Yeah, very, very on brand for me. I just graduated high school. Yippee! Woo! Which kind of explains why I haven't been around. I've been really busy with, being a senior and all that college stuff, applications, etc., etc. But I finally made it through high school and I'm getting ready to move to college at the time of recording this, in less than a month. I got into my university of choice on a full ride scholarship and graduated salutatorian of my class, which was super awesome. I do have a lot of anxiety about moving. I'm definitely not I'm physically prepared, but definitely not mentally prepared for that kind of change. I have everything I need, right? But I definitely try to mentally prepare myself for the whole new environment, meeting new people, the different workload, and not being home, because I will also be moving out of my parents' house and having my own apartment soon, which is pretty scary if you think about it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys so you guys know where I'm at right now. I'm also very proud of myself and I kind of wanted to put that on my channel. But yeah, it was definitely hard getting here, especially with the way I was struggling with both my physical and mental health. I've also kind of briefed that in my last video with how I was getting comfortable with procrastination because I was having some physical health problems in regards to stress. But I do go to therapy now and I've made a lot of progress in the last couple of months and I'm very proud of myself. And I am proud of anybody else who is also on their mental health journey and making progress. Anyways, but yeah, I definitely made it through. I wanted to share that with you guys. And now moving into today's topic, I wanted to discuss the correlation between art and mental health, which is pretty on brand for me. So going back to college, for those who applied for college, you know that most of you had to write an essay for Common App. And I wrote my essay about art and what it meant to me and how it's impacted my life. And I titled it The Artistry of Adolescence. It was an essay I'm very, very proud of. I wrote it on my own without any assistance. And I don't think I had anybody read over it until after I submitted it because I really wanted it to be my words. And I'm glad that I'm a decent writer because I got into the college I wanted to get into. So yeah, it just discussed how art is important to me and what it meant to me growing up, as well as how I could use it as a tool to view my growth over time as a person. I make a lot of art based around my personal feelings, which I usually portray with original characters or people made in my image, which is what today's work is actually about. I've been going through a lot regarding how I've processed my past, both recent and far back, into my childhood. And I made this work with my PTSD in mind, which is something that I was recently diagnosed with, which makes sense. It's comorbid with anxiety, so. In this work, I wanted to discuss, or rather, portray how I've grown through it. And I definitely took a few metaphors out of it. And I took some imagery from one of my favorite shows, which is Steven Universe. And I specifically took some imagery from the episode Here Comes a Thought, where Garnet and Stevani are processing their trauma together. And I'm going to pop a reference image up here so you can kind of see that correlation. But yeah, I've always used my art as an emotional tool throughout my life without even realizing. And without it, I don't think I'd be as emotionally mature as I am now. Even with the cringy emo pony drawings I made when I was 9. I really love to look back at my old art dating back to elementary because I do have all of my old sketchbooks and random pieces of art on loose leaf paper. And I love to see both my progress in art and how I draw, as well as the emotional growth I've experienced. I could see in a lot of my old art what I was feeling and what I was going through, such as some personal issues I was having with some of the people around me, as well as some of the issues I was experiencing regarding bullying and self-esteem growing up throughout middle school and elementary school. And to be honest, I really do find some of it inspiring. It's inspiring to see that I've always been emotional and I've always had at least something to project my feelings into, and that I've always been creative. Going through each sketchbook, I feel like is a different era of my life, where I could see not only what I was very interested in at the time, but as well as what I was emotionally going through at the time. And through each drawing, I could see how much I loved one thing or how hard I was feeling one emotion or another. But I could also see my random little drawing practices as well. It really comforts me to know that I've always had art, and that if I didn't have anything, I at least had myself and paper and pencil. It's also nice to see that I've grown emotionally through this, because I can see how I portray my feelings differently in art now, especially because my art is more symbolic these days rather than more literal. But that's entirely due to the fact that my emotions are more complex because I'm older. Something I have observed in the art community is the toxicity around vent art, or what most would consider vent art, such as the drawing I'm recording for you today. A lot of individuals make vent art or more personally emotional art seem taboo, when in reality, I find that everybody's entitled to their own self-expression, even if it's through drawing emo ponies, you know? Like, my older vent art as a child, I can look at and be like, yeah, that was cringy, but at the same time, it's like, that is how I truly felt, and that is the only way I knew how to express my emotions. And I feel that the art community often makes vent art taboo, but don't realize that this genre of art is vital for many artists and how they process their emotions and how they have at least an outlet to express their feelings. Nobody should be shamed or made to feel alienated because of the way that they process their feelings, even if it's through, again, drawing emo ponies. This genre of art is a tool for many people, and for myself, it's a way I can monitor my growth as a person, my emotional maturity, as well as view the different eras I went through as a child into adulthood, where I can see what I've been through, how I processed it, how I rationalized things, and how I try to wrap my head around what I was experiencing, even when I didn't know what I was feeling. And that's the experience for many artists. Your art, regardless of if you're aware of it or if it was intentional, writes a story about you and writes a story about who you are and what you've been through. And you don't have to draw more intimate art like this for that to be necessarily present. As you age and as you develop as an artist, your style is obviously going to change, but in the end of the day, it'll always be your art. The way your style changes, the colors you use, everything means something to you, regardless if it's because you like that pose or color, or because there's a deeper meaning or explanation to what you're portraying. And going off of that, that really is what I love about art, is that, and writing off of that, that's also what I deeply love about art, is that it comes together in a way you will never expect. Like my sketchbooks, I never intentionally made them to kind of connect, but going back and looking through every page chronologically, I can see that it writes a story about me, even though I didn't intend it to. And I can see my highest highs and my lowest lows, and it really does say a lot about me. And I can also say that for a lot of the art of my friends, where I can look at their older art and their newer art and the art between that, and I can see where they've grown, where they were probably at their worst, and see where they've gotten so much better. And it's beautiful, honestly. And I can already tell that my next era of art is going to be a lot about change and how I'm going to be very scared in my new college classes. My next big Instagram post will be me crying in my bed, wondering why I chose this life. But I just wanted to brief how I believe that art really is such a versatile tool. to view your growth as both an artist as well as a person. And I really hope that a lot of people can empathize with this. Moving forward, I actually did want to share my college essay with you guys before I close out this video. It, again, is titled The Artistry of Adolescence, and it talks about how art was a, again, tool for me to view my growth as a person, and how it was the one consistent thing throughout my adolescence. And I kind of made an analogy between the changes of adolescence and the consistency of art as an important thing to me. So yeah, I will insert that in the next couple of seconds, and I really hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Oh, and keep in mind, this was written like all the way back in December, so it's been almost a year since I've written it, so just keep that in mind. Okay, here it is. I drew on my mom's white Chevy Cobalt when I was 2 years old. My mom came out to her car while we were at my grandma's house, and safe to say she wasn't pleased to see my serene array of scribbles illustrated in crayon. My mom was furious. My aunt recalls the experience as horrific, considering the unadulterated rage my mom exuded. Maybe it's because I'm 18 now, but that's hilarious. Throughout my adolescence, I have been through violent vicissitudes. I fought many battles between friends, court, and school. I've been through phase after phase, from being obsessed with the color black, choker necklaces, and screamo, to loving khaki pants, cardigans, and elegant jewelry. It's been messy. However, I think that's what growing up is. You'll always go through physical and mental changes, regardless of whatever unique battle you push through. Irrespective of the frequent changes I've personally experienced, there has been one consistency in it all. Out of everything in my life, art has been the one consistent variable. Old sketchbooks and canvases fill my closet. I love looking back at them. After revising the pages year after year, I realized the continuity between each page and how it connected to whatever I was going through in that period. My mind is constantly illustrating works out of my perceivable world. My feelings and desires manifest into pieces that paint their way onto a canvas. It's how I've always expressed myself and how I will continue to express myself even as I enter adulthood. Each page or canvas I look back on tells me a lot about how I understood the world then, such as how I felt about the custody battle I experienced as a child, where my portraits depicted frustration, loneliness, and emotional deprivation. I could also see the frustrated scribbles over the imperfect lines of which I was painfully self-aware. Younger me tirelessly worked to improve our drawings and maximize our potential, yet I can also see my interest and how excited I was by them. I could see the elaborate stories I illustrated to help me through growing up in puberty. They were so creative and intricate. It fascinated me how such a young mind could keep up with such lengthy concepts. Lining up all these works tells me the quote-unquote story of my life. I am very proud to see myself grow and change through one consistent variable in my youth. Overall, my art not only wrote me a story, but taught me diligence, passion, perseverance, and to embrace my creativity. Art has helped tremendously in my growth, and it's a fundamental aspect of my character, yet it's so much more than my private feelings. It's my impression on the community around me. Art is a valuable source of inspiration and comfort, a source I want to be a part of. The excitement I get when I receive commissions is immeasurable. I can reinvent someone else's story using the same tools I've used to write mine, whether that's reimagining the face of lost loved ones or immortalizing a family in charcoal. Art, much like adolescence, is flexible and ever-changing. However, unlike my adolescence, I will never grow out of drawing, painting, and the like. My art has illustrated my life from start to present. I have intricately sewn myself into the lives of others in the scene of my community. My life will continue to change as I enter adulthood, but I cannot wait to see what I make from my experiences, what I can create in the future from the artistry of my adolescence. You know, looking back on that essay, it definitely could have been way better, but I'm still very proud of it because it still is an accurate representation of how I feel about art and what it means to me. Also, jumping around really quick, I wanted to point out that my interface is different. Some of you may notice, some of you might not be paying attention, but I am using a different program to draw today as well as a different device. I normally use my Diamond PD22. It's a 22-inch drawing monitor. It's not touchscreen. It uses a USB and a HDMI to connect to my laptop. But I wanted to try something more portable, so I decided to get an iPad and Procreate. I still like Clip Studio Paint a lot better, both on desktop and on mobile, but I really just wanted to see what the hype was about with Procreate and see like, is it really worth it? I mean, if you guys want my honest opinions, alright. Hashtag not spawns. But yeah, this drawing was also a practice to kind of gauge out what it's like to draw on a different device, because I've always done digital art on a laptop and never on like an iPad. So yeah, that was definitely new to me. But anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and I hope you enjoyed both the essay I shared as well as what I talked about. I also really wanted to share my college essay because I hope that some people who are getting ready to apply for college may see this and find it inspirational or useful so they can kind of gauge what they need. And just want to let you guys know that this speed paint is in fact 6 hours of footage compressed, so I really do hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, there's only so much I can talk about and so long I can talk for with the 6 hours of compressed footage. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a good day, okay? Stay safe.